Welcome to the Stutzman channel. My name is Terry. Today we have a repair on a 94 Ford Ranger, and before we get going on that, I want to thank Thomas EXO VCDS. He is a professional automotive technician. He specializes in VWs and Audis, and if you haven't checked out his channel, be sure you do. Real great guy, and he's very knowledgeable in what he does. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below this video so you can check it out for yourself. Okay, let me give you a little history of what's going on here with this here glass that's busted out on this here driver's side of this door. My neighbor, 2 doors down, the son, to show his appreciation and love for me, he took his pellet rifle and he shot out the glass. So now I got to sit here and replace this glass. I've never been in this door. I don't know what's involved. The service manual is not that clear about what's involved, but I guess we'll figure it out as we go. Other than we got to remove a rear channel guide and got to drill out some rivets, so I guess we'll figure it out once we get in there. But let me show you what we got. I'll show you around the window here what it looks like, and then we'll get started. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of the glass that's still left in the channel. I have been picking out some of it. You can see there's some there. And I've already pretty much got most of this out over here. So let me, I'm just using a pick and I'm just picking it out. So let me continue picking this stuff out and then I'll get back with you in the next shot. Now right now the window is in the up position. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this door handle off. So to be sure that I can put it back right where it was, I'm going to take and put a piece of painter's tape. Kind of lined up the center of this, and then I'm going to just put an arrow on it. Okay, now that we have this here taped up to know where this handle is, it's going to be a screw back here behind this here piece of cover. So we start right here, just going to lift it up, and slide it over. And inside is going to be a T20 screw. Now you take it off, there's going to be plastic washers here. So you'll have 2 of them. So there's one, there's another one. Now in the pull handle here, looks like we have 1 screw. That looks like a Phillips screw. And that's what he looks like. Down here in the lower corner of the door at the rear, we have another Phillips screw. And that is that screw. And up here at the top corner of the door, up near the front, we have another Phillips screw. And that screw, it's a little bit shorter. Now at this point right now, all the screws should be out, and now we're ready to take this door panel off. But now this is not like a typical door panel where you can start down at the bottom and start pulling it out. If you do, you're going to bust these fasteners. What this will do on this panel is you're going to raise it up about 1.5 inches and then slide it off. And you'll see how that'll look once we get it off. It's kind of like hooks. And then there's holes and it goes in and down. So let's see if we can try to get this thing lifted up. It's coming off pretty good. Okay. So I kind of give you a side view there so you can see it. So basically all I said, you just have to lift it straight up. Don't pull it out or you're going to break these fasteners here. All right, the next thing we got here is this here water shield. Looks like it's got some adhesive back here, so it looks like it's stuck on with that. But before I pull this off, I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm just going around the corners here. I just want to make sure that I put this back just where it was before I take it off. So I'm just going around the corners and just marking around the edges a little bit so I know where it's at. A little bit across the top, down here on the bottom, so I can get it right back where it was. Alright, so it's no need for you guys to watch me pulling this off because it is a little bit of adhesive here. See, I got the... It's going to take a little bit of time, so not wasting you guys' time. Once I get this off, I'll catch you guys in the next shot. Okay, let's take a look at this door. Now the service manual is talking about taking out this here rear channel support. And hopefully you should be able to see that. There's that little U-shaped groove back in here that the window is sliding in. So it looks like it wants to take that out. And from what I can see, it looks like there's one bolt here. Now before I take this bolt out, I'm going to scribe around this bolt. And let me get a scribe here. So basically I'm just going to scribe around it so I can put this here right back to where it was. Okay. Now I can't tell up at the top. It doesn't appear to be fastened to anything. Maybe it's hooked on something I can't tell at the top. So I'm going to take this bolt out and see what that's going to get us. Now also, let's take a look at here at the window of how it is secured. Bear with me guys here. So I got the crank on there now. So let's just lower the window. Now if you notice, we have two rivets. One over there, one over there, that is securing, you know, this here window. Let me raise that back up again. Let me get the light out. Maybe we can see it a little better. Now, also, let's take a look on the back side. Before we start drilling this stuff out, these rivets, you need to kind of take a look on the back side. Now, if you can look in there, it may be hard to tell, but it looks like there's two pieces of plastic, like white phenolic or something like that. It may be hard to tell in the camera. See, there's one on each side of the glass, and the one that's closest to us has a thinner plastic. One on the back side is actually deeper. And if we can swing around and look at the back side, I can get you guys angled in there. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Okay. So let me start working on this bolt right over here and see what we get. Okay, this bolt is 11 millimeter or 7/16. So I found out the 11 millimeter is a little bit tighter fitting, so that's what I'm going to use. Alright, so there it is right there. It looks like it's slid up under a piece of metal up there. I have to take a look. I'm not really sure how it was mounted up in there. And then I'm just going to screw this back in place. Okay, I think what I'm going to do right now, I want us to drill these two rivets out right here that I pointed out earlier. But I believe what I'm going to do to get access to the rivets, look at it, you know, a little bit easier and all, I'm going to take out two nuts. One is right here, and the other one is right here. That'll hold this here track assembly in that you see right here. Then I'm hoping what we could do is we could take and slide this whole thing off and just take it out, and then we can carry it over to the vise and drill it and do whatever we want to with it. Again, it's the same size as it was for the rear track channel. 11mm or 7/16. So let me take this one out. And then we got this other one down here. Two nuts are identical, flange nuts, and so you guys can see that. Okay. Now I'm hoping this thing will slide right out of here now. So our regulator is right over here. Let's see if we can get it out. Okay, so now we can see a good look at that. So now you can see the side view. You can see those two plastic washers we saw earlier. Now you can see the back side. So you see that's how the glass is held in. So there's two holes in the glass and these two rivets go through it. So let me get these here things drilled out, get that taken care of. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to punch these pins out that's inside these rivets. Let me put my hand over here so you can see. That was a 1/4 inch punch. Now I'm going to switch over to an 1/8 inch punch. See if we can't drive it on through now. So that's what we got so far. There. Now I'm going to take a 1/4 inch drill bit and I'm going to drill that through. And that's what we got right there. So this is up next to the edge of the door, to the inside of the door. Glass is in the middle, thicker part to the outside, and then this is what we got for the rivet. And that appears to be intact where it's not separated. Okay, now we'll get the other one. Again, same setup. Just going to take a little bit of brake clean. I'm going to clean this old grease out of here. I believe that's going to look good enough. Give you another shot of it and the back side. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish getting all these pieces of glass that's broken off and it's down inside the door. I'm going to get a vacuum cleaner, suck it out, and clean things up. We'll catch you in the next shot once I get that done. These here spacers. If you remember, these were together and they did not come apart. But you can take them apart and you have to reuse these things unless you can buy them. And I doubt if you can, because the Ford dealership does not sell the glass anymore. So you have to get an aftermarket glass. Hopefully this thing will focus here. But anyway, there are some tabs here. Maybe you can see it, but it goes outward. And these tabs, they actually press up inside this other piece here, which is like this. So when you go and push them together, then they'll snap. So to get them separated, I took a scribe and coming from this side, you'll go in there and you will take one of the tabs and you will bend it over a little bit, and while you hold it over, then you're going to be putting a little pressure on the side here to hold it outward so it doesn't spring back in place. And then while you do that, holding it in place, then you'll come to the other side, take the tab, pull it over to the side again on the opposite side, and then you can pull it apart. Okay, now this here is a 1/4 inch opening, so a 1/4 inch bolt will go through the opening here and also into the track. So that's what I'm going to be using. Okay, to make this glass a little bit easier going in, I'm going to remove this here outer molding. It's like it's got spring clips on it. So you can see what that looks like. It's like it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips there. And also I'm going to remove this rubber molding that's here on the inside of the door. Should be able to just lift it up, just pull it off. And that's what that looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this center track here back in. I'm going to spray a little bit of white lithium grease in the track. Alright, the first thing we're going to be putting in is this here track assembly. Alright, so I'm going to get the window handle and I'm going to crank this window so I can get this right here in this here position. Okay, now I've already lubed it up inside here, as you already saw earlier, you know, up here in the track. So we're just going to go ahead and stick this thing on in. Remember, the stud goes down to the bottom. It's easier to put the stud in at the bottom and then put the one stud coming back out through the top. Okay? Alright, now we're going to get some nuts. Screw the nuts on. Now I've got this scribed, and it also has a mark from the factory, of course, where the flange nut shows where it was. So I'm just going to put it right back where it was. Take a look under the bottom, see how that looks? There's some marks down there. So I'm lining the flange nut up on that. Tighten one on the bottom first. And then come back and get the one on the top next. Making sure your marks line up. Okay. Now we can make sure it works as far as that goes. Then when you get through, crank it all the way to the bottom. So our whole assembly is down at the bottom. Okay, next step we're going to be doing is the glass. Now, before we put the glass in, up here on the rubber, up on the side for the guides, we're going to spray some silicone spray. Put it all the way down on the guide. This guide here goes all the way to the bottom. And of course you have the guide right here stops, but then we have our rear channel guide that's down here that we're going to be putting in after the glass is in. Now you ain't going to be able to take the glass and slide it down, so what you have to do, most glasses, angle it straight down, sideways, get it all the way down past the guides here, the rubber guides, then flip it up, then put it in the front groove here, and then slide it up, making sure that it's in this groove also. And then go all the way to the top. Okay. Now I'm going to put some tape around here just to make sure it stays in place. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this here rear channel guide support in there. Now I have the glasses taped up, but you can't see it, but I got some painter's tape up there to hold the glass in place. Alright, so also this here has a tab. If you can see it right there, there's a piece of metal up there at the top, and all this would do is it would just slide up on there, and you know you'll have it right when you get this hole lined up with the hole that's in the door. To use a quote from Thomas, you can see better on your car as far as up here. I can't get you a shot up there, but let's go ahead and get it in. Now what I'm doing is I'm using the rubber track here. I'm feeling the glass so I can find out where it's at. So it's pretty much like a feel thing here that you got to try to find that up there at the top. As you can see right here, I got the hole that's lined up now, and I'm secured up at the top. Now if you remember, I had a scribe mark around this bolt, so I'm just lining it up to the scribe mark. I'm just going back up here just to double check, and that feels pretty good. I can tell that the glass is in the groove up at the top. Okay, so we're going to snug it on up. Alright, time for our spacers. Now the one that's on the back, this one right here with the metal, this is going to go on the back. So I'm going to put it on the back of the glass. And the other one right here is going to go on the front of the glass. And then you just push them together. Should have a nice click when they go together. Alright. So you see both of them are on there now. Now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to use a 1/4-20 bolt. It's 1 inch long, and also I'm going to use a Teflon nylon locking nut. And then I'm going to put the bolt head in the back, so it'll be coming towards us like this, and then the nuts on the front, because it looks like there's not a lot of clearance on the back. So I'm hoping that this here, you can focus here. So I'm hoping that this nut head, this bolt head right here, is going to be enough to clear, but we'll find out. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in there, secured down there, and I'll catch you guys in the next shot so you can see what it'll look like. Okay, you can see what I've wound up with. You can see that the nuts here, you know, they're on the outside. That looks like that's going to work out pretty good. Okay, I put a little bit more lube on the track here, the center track, a little bit more on the guide, and so we'll give it a check out here. That's all the way down. Now we're going all the way up. Seems to seat pretty good up there at the top. Okay. And we'll just leave it down. Alright, the next step is going to put this here rubber molding back in place. I'll do it on the outside so you can see what I'm doing. So just set it on the ledge here and should be able to just push it down. Make sure it's seated. That looks good. And go ahead and snap the outside rubber molding on. Just remember, it's just metal clips, just snaps on. A little bit of door cleaning here, just putting a little bit of brake clean. Just gonna get ready to put that splash shield back on. Kind of wipe it down. Alright, so to be sure this thing is going to stick on there because it's not that sticky now, so I'm going to put some general purpose adhesive on here. Spray adhesive. Just going to give it a light touch all the way around the perimeter. Yeah, we'll let that set for about 5 minutes and then we'll come back and then we'll put it on. Alright, I'm putting this here water shield on. So I'm just using the lines that I made earlier with the marker. So I'm just lining it up on those lines. Alright, let's see if we can get this here door panel on. I'm trying to get this here door stop lined up. Alright. Okay, let me get the screws and we'll secure it. Okay, we're going to do this here long screw in the armrest first. Just get them started. Another long screw, lower left corner. And short screw upper top corner. And all of these are Phillips, of course, as we mentioned earlier when we took it apart. Now we'll secure them up. And next is a window handle. 2 washers, plastic. Now what I want to do is I want to get it up in the top position. That's where it was when I took it off. And now I'm going to line it up with this arrow. T20 screw. Hopefully you guys can see. Because I can't see squat up there. Alright. Alright. I believe that is going to wrap it up. Okay, and that's how you can replace your glass door on a 94 Ranger, and I'm sure that similar years in that era, probably about the same thing. Hey, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you don't like it, just give it a thumbs down. Whatever makes you happy. If you like this here video and you looked at other videos on this channel, you like it, go ahead and subscribe, and that way you'll be notified of other videos. Be sure to click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos come your way. Anyway, also be sure to check out Thomas's channel. Good guy, very knowledgeable. He'll help you out in any kind of problem that you might have. So be sure to check him out. So let's take care. We'll see you guys in the next video, and hoping all of your repairs look successful.